In life, everyone faces rejection at some point, whether in work, relationships, or personal ambitions. Rejection often brings feelings of disappointment, a blow to confidence, and even sadness. But what if we began to view rejection as an opportunity, a stepping stone, rather than a stumbling block? Inspired by Marcus Aurelius' Stoic philosophy, here are 13 lessons to help transform moments of rejection into motivation for personal growth. Let's dive into this journey of converting rejection into resilience and strength. Number 1. Ignore those who reject you. The first and perhaps most crucial step in handling rejection is to protect your self-esteem and guard your sense of self-worth. Rejection, in any form, can trigger a cascade of negative emotions. Whether it's a professional setback, a failed relationship, or an unrecognized effort, it's easy to fall into the trap of wondering why someone dismissed or overlooked you. The instinctive reaction is often to replay the scenario in our minds, analyzing every detail and questioning ourselves. What did I do wrong? Why didn't they value me? This internal spiral can be all-consuming, and if we allow it, it can erode our confidence, leaving us feeling small, inadequate, and vulnerable. However, Marcus Aurelius, one of the great Stoic philosophers, reminds us that we cannot control the actions or opinions of others. What we can control, however, is our reaction to those actions. When someone rejects us, Stoicism teaches that we should not allow their judgment to define us. Rather than fixating on the rejection or attempting to win their approval, we must turn our focus inward. Redirect the energy you would have spent analyzing the rejection into something constructive, into your own personal growth. Rejection is an opportunity, not a reflection of your worth. It's a chance to invest in yourself, to ask, what can I learn from this experience? How can I grow stronger from it? Whether it's acquiring new skills, working on your mental or physical health, or nurturing your emotional resilience, there is always a path forward that doesn't require the validation of others. In fact, one of the most empowering things you can do when faced with rejection is to choose where you direct your energy. Dwelling on the rejection, repeatedly seeking closure, or trying to convince the person who rejected you of your value only keeps you stuck in negativity. Instead, focus on the areas where you can make a difference: your personal and professional growth, your passions, and your relationships with those who genuinely appreciate you. By shifting your attention from those who reject you to your own development, you allow yourself to grow more resilient. You stop seeking external validation and start validating yourself. This doesn't mean becoming disconnected or cold. Rather, it's about realizing that your worth does not depend on someone else's opinion of you. When we place our value in the hands of others, we give them power over our emotions and self-esteem. But when we take that power back and focus on our own journey, we become stronger, more self-assured, and more capable of handling rejection when it comes. Moreover, by moving away from the negativity of rejection, you can seek out those who truly appreciate and uplift you. There are people in your life who recognize your value, who see your strengths and encourage you to keep pushing forward. These relationships, grounded in mutual respect and admiration, become vital in reinforcing your sense of worth. They remind you that while one person may not have seen your potential, there are others who do, and those are the people worth investing in. The power of this shift in perspective cannot be overstated. Rejection, instead of being something that diminishes you, becomes an opportunity for growth. It forces you to look inward, reevaluate your goals, and strengthen the qualities that make you unique. When you focus on developing yourself and surrounding yourself with those who see your true value, rejection no longer feels like a personal failure. Instead, it becomes a stepping stone on your path to becoming a stronger, more resilient individual. Ultimately, by ignoring those who reject you and turning your attention inward, you reinforce your self-respect and protect your self-esteem. This process not only helps you move past the immediate hurt of rejection, but also builds a foundation of inner confidence that cannot be easily shaken by external opinions. Number 2, control your emotions. Reacting emotionally to rejection is a natural human response, but it can often cloud our judgment and lead us down a path of frustration, anger, or even self-pity. When we feel rejected, it's easy to let negative emotions take over, allowing our thoughts to spiral into a vortex of self-doubt and bitterness. Yet, Marcus Aurelius, one of the central figures of Stoic philosophy, teaches us that emotional control is one of the most powerful tools we can develop in life. He reminds us that while we cannot always control external events, like rejection, we can control how we respond to them. Instead of succumbing to an emotional outburst or feeling defeated, Stoicism encourages us to approach rejection with calmness and clarity. It's important to take a step back and allow ourselves to experience the emotions, but not to let them dictate our actions. The first impulse might be to lash out, blame others, or ruminate endlessly on what went wrong. But this only feeds into a cycle of negativity that makes it harder to move forward. Instead, strive to stay composed and reflect on the emotions you're experiencing. Rather than being overwhelmed by them, view your emotional response as an opportunity to deepen your self-awareness. Why are you feeling this way? What triggered these emotions? Is it truly the rejection itself causing the pain? Or is it perhaps rooted in fears, insecurities, or expectations you had attached to the outcome? By asking yourself these questions, you can begin to unravel the emotional layers and understand where your reactions are coming from. This self-awareness is key to developing emotional resilience. The more we understand why we feel a certain way, the better equipped we are to manage and regulate those emotions in the future. Stoicism teaches that our emotions are not inherently good or bad. They are simply responses to external events. It's how we interpret and react to them that shapes their impact on us. When we accept that emotions are a natural part of being human, but not something that defines us or controls us, we free ourselves to respond with wisdom rather than impulse. Moreover, embracing emotional control is not about suppressing feelings or pretending everything is fine when it's not. It's about understanding that while we can't stop ourselves from feeling rejected, we can choose how to channel that energy. For example, instead of letting anger take the wheel, you could channel your frustration into productive action, whether that's setting new goals, learning from the experience, or finding ways to improve yourself. This mindset shift turns negative emotions into fuel for personal growth, rather than allowing them to drain your energy. Stoicism teaches that we should view rejection as an external event, one that is separate from our inner sense of self. By practicing emotional control, we begin to see that our worth isn't determined by the judgments or actions of others. Whether we face rejection at work, in a relationship, or in any other area of life, the most powerful response is not to fight the emotion, but to acknowledge it, understand it, and use it as an opportunity for self-improvement. Building emotional resilience in this way does not happen overnight. It takes practice and patience. But over time, as we cultivate a greater awareness of our emotional responses and learn to control them, we become less vulnerable to the effects of rejection. Rather than letting it shake us to our core, we learn to respond with equanimity and strength, regardless of what happens externally. Ultimately, the ability to control your emotions in the face of rejection doesn't just help you overcome this particular challenge. It strengthens your emotional resilience for future challenges. The more you practice this control, the more it becomes second nature, helping you navigate life's ups and downs with greater composure, wisdom, and self-assurance. Number 3, let go of obsessive thoughts. One of the most challenging aspects of rejection is the tendency to become fixated on the person who rejected us or the circumstances surrounding it. It's easy to get trapped in a cycle of overthinking, replaying the rejection over and over in our minds, and obsessing over what went wrong. We may even start to internalize the rejection as a personal failure, which only deepens the emotional impact and keeps us stuck in the past. However, moving past rejection requires letting go of these obsessive thoughts and freeing ourselves from their grip. In Stoicism, there is a clear emphasis on focusing only on what we can control. The person who rejected us, their actions, and their opinions are beyond our influence. We cannot change the way they see us or the decision they made, but we can control how we respond to the situation. And that response lies in our ability to release the obsessive thoughts that keep us tethered to the rejection. Letting go of obsessive thoughts doesn't mean pretending the rejection didn't happen, or pretending we're unaffected by it. Denial is not the Stoic path. Instead, it's about accepting the rejection as part of life, as a temporary setback, rather than allowing it to define us. Rejection is an inevitable part of the human experience, and while it can sting, it is not an end, it's a lesson. Viewing rejection as a sign to move forward rather than dwelling on what went wrong is a powerful shift in perspective. Instead of clinging to thoughts about the person who rejected you or analyzing every detail of the situation, take the time to reflect on what you can learn from the experience. What does the rejection teach you about yourself? Is there a skill or quality that needs improvement? Perhaps the rejection was not a reflection of your inadequacies, but rather an opportunity to grow, shift your approach, or expand your abilities in a way that will better serve you in the future. This approach reframes the rejection as a stepping stone, not a roadblock. Releasing obsessive thoughts is also an act of self-compassion. When we obsess over rejection, we are often punishing ourselves, rehashing painful memories that serve no purpose other than to prolong our suffering. Instead, we must learn to be kind to ourselves in moments of rejection, acknowledging the hurt, but then gently letting go of the thoughts that keep us tethered to it. Stoicism encourages us to cultivate a sense of inner peace by recognizing that our true worth is not tied to the approval or rejection of others. When we let go of obsessive thoughts, we give ourselves the freedom to move forward, to focus on what we can control, and to continue growing without being weighed down by past disappointments. Additionally, this release of obsessive thinking allows us to create space for new opportunities. When we're fixated on the past, we close ourselves off to the present and the future. New opportunities, relationships, and growth can only come when we make room for them by letting go of the past. The Stoics understood that life is ever-changing and that clinging to the past, whether in the form of thoughts, regrets, or rejections, prevents us from seeing the possibilities ahead. To help break free from obsessive thoughts, Stoicism suggests practicing mindfulness and self-reflection. Take a moment each day to meditate on your thoughts and emotions, observe them without judgment, and gently redirect your focus to the present. By doing this, you create space between yourself and the emotional charge of the rejection, allowing you to process it with greater clarity and composure. Over time, this practice becomes easier, and you'll find that you're able to move past rejection more swiftly and with greater ease. The key is to embrace the rejection as part of the journey, to see it as something that enriches your life, and to release the hold that obsessive thoughts have on you. When you let go of the past, you open up the possibility for new beginnings, growth, and resilience. Rejection no longer becomes something that holds you back. It becomes a necessary part of the process that moves you forward. Number 4, show your worth. When faced with rejection, one of the most empowering ways to respond is by using it as fuel to prove your worth, not just to others, but most importantly, to yourself. Rejection often leaves us questioning our value, but rather than allowing those doubts to take root, we can turn them into motivation for personal growth and achievement. The Stoics believed in the power of self-reliance and in using adversity as an opportunity to strengthen our inner character. By embracing rejection as a challenge rather than a defeat, we can show the world and ourselves that we are capable, resilient, and worthy of success. The first step in showing your worth is to shift your mindset. Rejection does not diminish your value. It simply reveals that, for whatever reason, a particular opportunity was not the right fit. It may sting in the moment, but it doesn't define who you are. Instead of internalizing rejection as evidence of inadequacy, use it as a prompt to prove to yourself that you are capable of more. There is always room to grow, learn, and improve, and every setback is an opportunity to sharpen your abilities and prove your resilience. Take on new challenges, whether they're in your professional life, personal pursuits, or creative endeavors. Push yourself to step outside of your comfort zone, even if it feels uncomfortable or intimidating. Each new challenge you take on becomes a testament to your strength and your willingness to grow in the face of adversity. Every time you put yourself out there, despite the possibility of rejection, you are proving that you are committed to your own development and success. It's also crucial to focus on your personal achievements, especially those that are not tied to external validation. What have you accomplished that makes you proud? What skills have you honed? What goals have you achieved? And what steps have you taken to improve yourself? Take stock of these moments, however small they may seem, and celebrate them. Every time you achieve something, no matter how insignificant it may seem in the grand scheme of things, you are reaffirming your worth and showing yourself that you are capable of great things. Furthermore, showcasing your worth isn't just about proving something to others, it's about reinforcing your belief in your own value. The Stoic philosophers emphasized the importance of internal validation over external approval. It's easy to get caught up in seeking recognition from others, but the true measure of your worth comes from within. By constantly striving to improve and focusing on your own growth, you are building a strong foundation of self-respect and confidence. You don't need the approval of others to know that you are talented and valuable. The proof lies in your actions, your persistence, and your continued efforts to evolve. Rejection is an inevitable part of life, and it's something everyone will encounter at some point. But instead of allowing it to diminish your self-esteem, let it be a source of motivation to push forward with even greater determination. Every rejection you face is an opportunity to demonstrate your talent, your work ethic, and your ability to overcome obstacles. When you embrace rejection as a catalyst for growth, you not only prove your worth to others, but most importantly, to yourself. By consistently showing your worth through action, not just words, you reinforce the belief that your value is not determined by anyone's opinion or rejection. It's rooted in your own growth, achievements, and character. Keep proving to yourself that rejection is not a setback, but a stepping stone toward greater accomplishments, and let it fuel your journey of continuous self-improvement. Number 5. Stop trying to reach out after experiencing rejection. The natural impulse is often to try to fix the situation, to reach out to the person who rejected us in an attempt to repair the relationship, gain closure, or seek validation. We may feel a strong desire to explain ourselves, convince the other person of our worth, or somehow undo the hurt. But Stoicism teaches that this urge to seek validation or approval from others is ultimately counterproductive. Instead of seeking external reassurance, we must resist the temptation to chase after it. One of the most powerful lessons in Stoic philosophy is the importance of maintaining emotional balance and dignity, especially when faced with rejection. Reaching out in an attempt to change someone else's mind or gain their approval often leaves us in a vulnerable position, allowing our emotions to control our actions. Rather than regaining a sense of control, we may find ourselves reinforcing feelings of insecurity and self-doubt. Instead of giving in to the impulse to chase validation, it's vital to allow yourself a period of quiet reflection. This quiet time is not about wallowing in rejection, but rather about restoring your emotional equilibrium. By refraining from reaching out, you give yourself the space to regain perspective and shift your focus inward. This period of calm allows you to reconnect with your personal goals, values, and sense of purpose, rather than obsessing over the rejection or trying to fix something that cannot be fixed. During this quiet period, use the time to reflect on your goals and reorient yourself toward what truly matters to you. What are your passions? What drives you? What steps can you take to continue moving forward, regardless of the rejection you've faced? This time is an opportunity to remind yourself that your worth is not defined by another person's approval or rejection. Your goals and personal growth are what matter most, and focusing on these things will help you rediscover your sense of self and purpose. In many cases, attempting to repair the situation or reach out to the person who rejected us can also lead to further emotional turmoil. If the rejection was truly final, or if the relationship was not meant to be, reaching out may result in further disappointment or emotional strain. It's important to recognize that some situations are beyond our control, and forcing a resolution can often do more harm than good. Instead of trying to force something that isn't meant to be, accept the situation as it is and move forward with dignity. This restraint, while challenging in the moment, allows us to reclaim our emotional balance and maintain our self-respect. When we stop seeking validation from others, we begin to reinforce our own sense of worth. The Stoics taught that we should focus on our own actions, goals, and values, rather than becoming dependent on external approval. By resisting the urge to chase after validation, we affirm that we are in control of our emotional responses and that our worth is not contingent on the opinions of others. Ultimately, the quiet period after rejection becomes a time of personal growth and reflection. It allows you to clear your mind, reestablish your emotional stability, and refocus on your own path. In this space, you have the opportunity to strengthen your inner resolve, reconnect with your goals, and reaffirm that your sense of self-worth comes from within, not from the approval of others. Number 6, prove yourself through results. When faced with rejection, it's natural to feel the urge to prove yourself to others, especially if someone doubts your abilities. However, the most effective way to demonstrate your worth isn't through words or attempts to explain yourself. It's through your actions and the tangible results you achieve. Stoic philosophy teaches us that our actions, not our words or external validation, define us. By focusing on achieving results, we can show our true potential and let our accomplishments speak louder than any justification or defense. When someone doubts you or rejects your offer, let that doubt serve as fuel to push you harder toward your goals. Rather than becoming defensive or consumed by frustration, channel that energy into action. This is where your opportunity for growth lies, through hard work, perseverance, and dedication. If someone rejects you, let their skepticism become the driving force that propels you to succeed, to improve, and to demonstrate through your actions that you are more than capable. For example, let's say you apply for a job and face rejection after the interview. It would be easy to let that rejection discourage you, to dwell on the reasons why you weren't selected, and to focus on the disappointment. However, a more stoic approach would be to take that rejection as a chance to reassess and improve. Perhaps you didn't get the job because certain skills or experiences were lacking. Instead of fixating on the missed opportunity, take proactive steps to build those skills, whether by taking a course, gaining more experience, or expanding your professional network. When the next opportunity comes along, you'll be better equipped to succeed, and your progress will speak for itself. In another example, consider an athlete who is rejected from a team or competition. It's easy to let the rejection undermine their confidence and question their abilities. However, instead of focusing on the setback, the athlete could choose to use the rejection as motivation to train harder. They can refine their techniques, increase their endurance, and elevate their performance. The next time they compete or try out for a team, their improved results will be the clearest evidence of their capabilities. The rejection becomes a stepping stone, a challenge that they use to fuel their personal growth. Proving yourself through results isn't about seeking external recognition or approval. It's about showing your own commitment to growth and improvement. When you focus on achieving results, you demonstrate that you are not defined by others, opinions, or rejections. You are defined by your own persistence and effort. Results are the most powerful way to validate your worth because they can't be dismissed or ignored. While words can be doubted or misunderstood, tangible achievements cannot be denied. By proving yourself through results, you not only demonstrate your abilities, but also build your own confidence. Each success, no matter how small, reinforces your belief in your own strength and capabilities. Over time, as you accumulate results and achievements, you begin to create a track record that reflects your true potential, independent of anyone else's judgment. Your work, your dedication, and your resilience will speak for themselves, and others will begin to recognize your worth through your actions. This approach also shifts the focus from external validation to internal satisfaction. Instead of relying on someone else's approval to feel good about yourself, you take pride in your own accomplishments. This internal sense of fulfillment is far more empowering and lasting than the fleeting recognition from others. Ultimately, the most effective way to prove your worth is through the results you achieve. Rejection can be disheartening, but it also provides an opportunity to showcase your determination and commitment. Rather than reacting emotionally or seeking validation, focus on the actions that will lead to success. Your results will not only prove your worth to others, but they will also strengthen your belief in yourself, reinforcing that your value is defined by your ability to rise above rejection and achieve greatness on your own terms. Number 7, find joy in your own way. Rejection can be painful, and it often triggers a strong desire to retreat into isolation. When we're rejected, it's easy to feel like we no longer belong, and the temptation to pull away from the world is powerful. However, Stoic philosophy teaches us that withdrawing from life only deepens feelings of negativity and sadness. Rather than isolating ourselves, we can use rejection as an opportunity to find joy in new and fulfilling ways. One of the most important steps in overcoming rejection is to reconnect with the things that bring us happiness, especially those that are independent of external validation. When we feel rejected, we often lose sight of the things that previously brought us joy. Instead of focusing on the pain of rejection, take the opportunity to rediscover activities, hobbies, and interests that make you feel alive. This can be anything from exploring a new creative pursuit, taking up a new sport, or revisiting a passion you've neglected. Engaging in activities that you enjoy not only distracts from the hurt, but also helps restore a sense of personal fulfillment and happiness. For example, let's say you've been rejected in a job search or a relationship. Initially, you might feel devastated, and your instinct may be to withdraw, questioning your worth. However, rather than retreating, consider pursuing something you've always wanted to try, perhaps a new hobby or skill. Maybe you've always wanted to learn to play an instrument, write, or try a new fitness regimen. Immersing yourself in these activities provides a sense of accomplishment and joy that doesn't depend on the approval of others. Over time, these small acts of joy help to restore a sense of hope, allowing you to move past the rejection and rebuild your self-esteem. Additionally, cultivating positive relationships with others can be a powerful way to find joy and healing after rejection. Surround yourself with people who uplift and support you. Sometimes, when we face rejection, we begin to isolate ourselves from friends and loved ones, thinking that they won't understand or that we don't want to burden them with our struggles. However, opening up to those who care about us can be incredibly healing. True friends will provide a safe space for you to express your feelings, and their encouragement can be a reminder that your worth is not defined by the rejection you've experienced. Furthermore, Stoicism teaches that joy doesn't have to come from grand achievements or external validation. Often, joy is found in simple moments, whether it's a peaceful walk in nature, a good conversation, or a moment of quiet reflection. Rejection can cloud our perception of happiness, but by consciously seeking out small joys, we begin to see that life continues to offer meaningful moments, even in the face of adversity. When we actively pursue joy, we also nurture hope. Hope is the belief that better days are ahead, and it is vital to overcoming the despair that often accompanies rejection. By focusing on the positive aspects of life, we remind ourselves that rejection is only one part of the story. It doesn't define our entire narrative. Joy helps us heal, restores our sense of belonging, and encourages us to keep moving forward. Finally, finding joy in your own way fosters resilience. The more you focus on what brings you happiness and fulfillment, the less dependent you become on the approval or validation of others. Your sense of worth and joy comes from within, and this internal source of happiness strengthens you in the face of any future rejections or challenges. By nurturing your own joy, you cultivate a mindset of resilience that allows you to face life's difficulties with greater ease. Rejection may make you feel like withdrawing, but embracing joy, whether through hobbies, relationships, or simple pleasures, helps to restore your optimism, self-worth, and sense of belonging. When we allow ourselves to experience happiness on our own terms, we grow stronger and more grounded, ensuring that rejection doesn't take away our ability to enjoy life and move forward with hope and purpose. Number 8, build your social standing. One of the most powerful realizations we can have after facing rejection is that true worth does not require validation from others. In fact, relying on external approval or recognition for our sense of value often leaves us vulnerable to the ups and downs of other people's opinions. Stoic philosophy emphasizes the importance of self-sufficiency and inner strength, and this applies directly to how we build our sense of worth. Rather than seeking validation from others, focus on investing in your personal growth, developing your skills, nurturing your health, and advancing your career. In doing so, you will cultivate intrinsic value that speaks for itself and commands respect, regardless of others' opinions. Building your social standing begins with a shift in focus. Instead of trying to gain approval from others, turn inward and invest in becoming the best version of yourself. This doesn't mean ignoring others or cutting yourself off from social interaction. Rather, it's about building a foundation of personal growth and self-reliance that makes you proud of who you are, independent of what others think. Start by honing your skills and talents. Whether it's mastering your craft, learning new skills, or expanding your knowledge, the process of self-improvement will give you confidence and self-respect. For example, if you've been rejected in a professional setting, use this time to sharpen your expertise. Take an online course, attend workshops, or seek mentorship in areas where you feel there's room for growth. Every step you take to improve your abilities is an investment in your future, and it builds a level of competence and confidence that others cannot easily dismiss. Your health is also a critical aspect of building your social standing. Physical, mental, and emotional well-being are the cornerstones of a strong foundation. Prioritizing your health allows you to maintain the energy and resilience needed to pursue your goals and face setbacks with clarity and determination. Engage in regular exercise, maintain a balanced diet, and practice mindfulness to nurture your physical and mental health. A person who is mentally and physically strong projects confidence, and this inner strength commands respect from others, regardless of external validation. Advancing in your career or personal pursuits is another key aspect of building your social standing. Rather than seeking approval or recognition from others, focus on becoming exceptional in your field. Work hard, take initiative, and continuously strive for excellence. By achieving tangible results, you earn the respect of others based on your merit and contributions, not on your need for approval. Over time, your growth and dedication will establish you as a person of value and integrity. And people will begin to respect you, not because you seek validation, but because you have proven your worth through your actions. Building your social standing in this way isn't about competing with others or seeking to outshine anyone. It's about committing to your own growth and development. As you invest in yourself, you create an inner sense of value that cannot be shaken by rejection or external opinions. The more you focus on improving yourself, the less you rely on others' validation to feel worthy. This inner confidence and competence will naturally attract positive relationships and opportunities, as people are drawn to those who are self-assured, capable, and driven. Moreover, when you build your social standing from a place of self-worth and internal growth, you also attract people who value you for who you truly are. Relationships that are based on mutual respect, shared values, and genuine admiration will be far more fulfilling and enduring than those built on superficial validation. By investing in yourself, you create a life that is not dependent on others' opinions, and you form connections with others who appreciate you for your true, authentic self. In conclusion, true worth doesn't require external validation. By focusing on your own growth, whether it's honing your skills, prioritizing your health, or advancing your career, you build intrinsic value that others cannot ignore. As you invest in becoming the best version of yourself, you create a life that is rooted in self-respect and internal confidence. This, in turn, strengthens your social standing and attracts relationships and opportunities that are based on genuine admiration, not fleeting approval. Number 9. Stay unruffled. In the face of rejection, it's easy to become emotionally charged and desire some form of acknowledgement or attention from those who have dismissed or overlooked us. However, one of the most powerful lessons in Stoicism is the importance of not allowing external events or people to disturb our inner peace. Rather than wasting time and energy trying to gain the attention or approval of those who have rejected us, it's far more beneficial to focus on the people who genuinely care about us. Maintaining your emotional composure and not letting rejection disrupt your sense of self is essential to building resilience and preserving your dignity. When someone rejects you, the natural impulse may be to seek answers, explanations, or even to win them over. You may feel the urge to show them why you deserve their attention or approval. However, this pursuit often leads to frustration and wasted energy. Instead of chasing after someone's validation, Stoic wisdom advises you to channel your energy into more productive and fulfilling pursuits, such as focusing on the relationships with people who truly value you, those who lift you up and encourage your growth. These relationships are the ones that matter most as they are based on genuine affection and mutual respect. The people who truly care about you will support you during difficult times, offer guidance when needed, and celebrate your successes without needing to be convinced of your worth. By investing in these relationships, you nurture a social circle that strengthens your emotional well-being and helps you move forward after rejection with a renewed sense of confidence and purpose. If, however, you find yourself in a situation where interaction with the person who rejected you is unavoidable, it's important to approach the situation with composure and grace. Stoicism teaches us to maintain our dignity regardless of how others treat us. In these instances, it's helpful to keep the interaction brief, polite, and free from any emotional tension. There's no need to engage in a heated conversation or attempt to defend yourself. Simply acknowledge the situation calmly and move on without letting any negative emotions influence your behavior. For example, if a colleague rejects your ideas or doesn't offer you the recognition you deserve, instead of trying to convince them of your value, you can acknowledge their perspective respectfully and continue to focus on your work. Similarly, in personal relationships, if someone dismisses you or doesn't appreciate your efforts, you can keep interactions civil and courteous without lingering on the rejection. This behavior demonstrates emotional maturity and reinforces your strength in the face of adversity. By staying unruffled in the face of rejection, you create a sense of emotional stability that protects your peace of mind. You refuse to allow others' opinions or actions to control your emotional state. Instead, you take the high road, keeping your interactions with those who have rejected you polite but detached, and focusing on the relationships that truly nourish and uplift you. This level of emotional discipline not only helps you move past rejection with dignity, but it also strengthens your resilience, making it easier to navigate future challenges with a calm, composed mindset. Ultimately, staying unruffled is about maintaining your sense of self-respect and emotional equilibrium. It's about choosing not to invest energy in people who don't see your value, and instead directing that energy toward nurturing the relationships that truly matter. When you approach rejection with grace and composure, you not only protect your peace of mind, but also cultivate the emotional strength needed to face life's challenges with unwavering confidence. Number 10. Use silence as strength. Silence after rejection is often misperceived as a sign of weakness or a lack of response. In fact, it is one of the most potent forms of emotional strength. In the face of rejection, whether from a person, a job opportunity, or a creative endeavor, the natural reaction may be to speak out, defend yourself, or even try to argue for your worth. However, Stoicism teaches us that emotional responses, especially in moments of rejection, should be measured and deliberate. Silence, in this context, is not just the absence of words. It is a powerful tool for maintaining dignity, preserving emotional well-being, and allowing us to refocus on our path without being clouded by external circumstances. When faced with rejection, our immediate emotional reaction might be frustration, hurt, or anger. This can lead to the urge to confront the person who rejected us, or to make them aware of how their actions affected us. However, responding in this way often leads to further emotional turmoil and can escalate the situation. By choosing silence, we maintain control over our emotional state, protecting our dignity and avoiding unnecessary conflict. Silence in these moments is a way of saying, I value myself too much to engage in this negativity. Take, for example, a situation where someone you care about, whether a friend or partner, dismisses your feelings or rejects your effort to connect. In the heat of the moment, you might feel compelled to explain yourself or try to convince them of your worth. However, responding with silence can be a way to protect yourself from further emotional harm. It gives you the space to process your feelings and decide how you want to move forward, rather than being swept up in the emotional intensity of the rejection. Silence also serves as a form of self-respect. It says that you are not desperate for approval and are not willing to compromise your peace or self-worth in order to be accepted. For example, In a professional setting, if a colleague dismisses your ideas or a manager overlooks your contributions, reacting impulsively, whether by arguing, defending your position, or seeking validation, may only damage your reputation. Instead, taking a moment of silence allows you to step back, collect your thoughts, and respond with composure if necessary, or simply continue focusing on your work without letting the rejection derail your sense of purpose. Another example can be found in personal relationships. Suppose you've been rejected by a friend who suddenly distances themselves without explanation. It's natural to want to reach out, question them, or try to fix things immediately. However, by choosing silence, you avoid placing emotional pressure on them. This silent space allows both you and the other person time to reflect on the situation. It offers them the opportunity to consider their actions and how they've affected you without you needing to say anything. Silence can often speak louder than words, giving the other person the chance to realize their mistake and perhaps even come back with a more understanding perspective. Importantly, silence is not about pretending that the rejection didn't happen. It's not about suppressing your emotions or pretending to be indifferent. Instead, it's about choosing to respond in a way that preserves your emotional strength and well-being. By remaining silent, you avoid falling into the trap of emotional reactivity, which often leads to regretful actions or words. Silence allows you to maintain your dignity and composure, ensuring that your response is thoughtful rather than impulsive. Silence also provides an opportunity to refocus on your own goals and priorities. Rejection can sometimes knock us off course, making us question our path or our worth. By taking a step back and embracing silence, we can clear away the emotional noise and return to the things that matter most: our values, aspirations, and sense of purpose. For example, if you face rejection from a job or promotion, silence can give you the mental space to process the disappointment, regroup, and decide on your next steps. You may choose to improve your skills, explore new opportunities, or refocus on your personal development, rather than obsessing over the setback. Moreover, silence can also give the person who rejected you the opportunity to reflect on their own actions and potentially reconsider their stance. In some cases, people act impulsively, without fully understanding the consequences of their actions. By remaining silent, you avoid adding fuel to the fire and instead provide them with the room to reflect on their behavior. This quiet response can be a subtle but powerful way to encourage others to reconsider their rejection or dismissive actions. In conclusion, silence after rejection is not a sign of weakness, but a deliberate and powerful choice to preserve your dignity, protect your emotional well-being, and create space for reflection, both for yourself and the person who rejected you. It is a way to maintain control over your emotions, avoid unnecessary conflict, and focus on your path forward. Whether in personal relationships, professional settings, or creative endeavors, silence can serve as a powerful tool for maintaining emotional strength, staying true to yourself, and giving others the space to reconsider their actions. By embracing silence, you not only protect your peace, but also demonstrate the strength and resilience that rejection cannot diminish. Number 11. Focus on self-improvement. Rather than seeking external approval or validation after facing rejection, the most powerful response is to turn your attention inward and focus on your own growth. Rejection, while painful, offers an opportunity for self-reflection and a chance to assess what truly matters to you. Instead of allowing rejection to diminish your self-worth or distract you from your goals, you can use it as motivation to improve yourself and your circumstances. Stoic philosophy teaches the importance of self-sufficiency and inner peace. When we rely on the approval of others for our sense of worth, we make ourselves vulnerable to external circumstances that are often beyond our control. In contrast, when we focus on personal growth, we build a strong foundation that is independent of others' opinions. By investing in your own development, whether through learning new skills, expanding your knowledge, or pursuing activities that bring you joy, you create a life that is fulfilling on its own terms, without needing validation from others. For example, if you face rejection in your career, instead of dwelling on the setback, channel your energy into learning new skills or improving your existing ones. Take online courses, attend workshops, or read books that enhance your expertise. The more you focus on your own growth, the more confident you become in your abilities, and the less dependent you are on others' recognition. This type of self-investment not only helps you improve your professional standing, but also boosts your personal satisfaction and sense of accomplishment. Similarly, in personal relationships, if you experience rejection or emotional distance rather than fixating on winning someone back or seeking their approval, focus on cultivating your own happiness. Engage in hobbies or activities that make you feel fulfilled and content on your own. Explore new interests, deepen existing friendships, and nurture your sense of purpose. For instance, if you enjoy painting, writing, or playing a musical instrument, dedicate time to hone those skills. By focusing on what brings you joy and satisfaction, you build a life that doesn't rely on others' approval for happiness. Self-improvement also involves emotional growth. Instead of wallowing in self-pity or resentment after rejection, you can use the experience as an opportunity to strengthen your emotional resilience. Rejection often triggers feelings of inadequacy or frustration, but by practicing mindfulness, journaling, or seeking professional support, you can learn to process these emotions healthily and constructively. You can ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this to grow stronger? Every rejection is an opportunity to sharpen your emotional tools, develop a more positive mindset, and cultivate greater self-awareness. For instance, if you are rejected from a job you've been dreaming of, rather than viewing the rejection as a personal failure, shift your mindset to view it as a stepping stone. Use the feedback, if available, to improve your future applications. Develop a more polished resume, practice your interview skills, or even consider exploring new career paths. Every step you take toward improving yourself not only increases your chances of success in the future, but also builds your inner confidence and determination. Another powerful aspect of focusing on self-improvement is the ability to take control of your own happiness. When we constantly seek approval from others, we place our happiness in their hands, making us susceptible to disappointment. However, by developing a life that is rich in self-satisfaction, we shift our focus away from others' opinions and create a sense of fulfillment that is unshakable. This sense of internal fulfillment enables us to approach rejection with a healthier perspective, seeing it as part of the natural ebb and flow of life, rather than something that defines us. For example, if a friend or romantic partner rejects your efforts to connect, instead of obsessing over their actions or seeking to prove yourself to them, you can focus on the relationships that uplift and support you. Strengthen your bond with those who value you. And don't be afraid to let go of relationships that are draining or toxic. By doing so, you create space for deeper, more meaningful connections that are based on mutual respect and appreciation. In conclusion, focusing on self-improvement after rejection is one of the most empowering responses. It shifts the focus from seeking approval or validation from others to building a life that is fulfilling and self-sustaining. Whether through learning new skills, nurturing personal passions, or strengthening your emotional resilience, investing in yourself helps you become more independent, confident, and content. With every step you take toward improving yourself, you build a life that is not defined by rejection, but by the strength and growth that come from overcoming it. By turning rejection into an opportunity for self-improvement, you create a foundation for lasting success and fulfillment. Number 12, maintain emotional distance. Maintaining emotional distance does not imply detachment or coldness. Rather, it is the practice of emotional maturity and self-regulation. Detachment, in the context of Stoicism, is about learning to show kindness and empathy without becoming overly invested in or dependent upon the reactions and behaviors of others. It is about understanding that the actions and emotions of others are beyond your control, and that your sense of well-being should not be tethered to external factors, such as how others treat you or how they respond to your efforts. In moments of rejection, it's easy to become emotionally entangled in the situation, often trying to repair or regain the approval of others. However, Stoic wisdom teaches that true emotional strength comes from the ability to stay centered and not let external circumstances dictate your mood or sense of worth. When we detach emotionally, we create a space where we are no longer swayed by the opinions of others, allowing us to act with greater clarity, objectivity, and peace. For instance, imagine that you've been rejected for a promotion at work. It can be tempting to respond emotionally, perhaps by feeling resentment towards your manager or by overanalyzing what went wrong. However, maintaining emotional distance means acknowledging the rejection without letting it disturb your peace of mind. Instead of internalizing the rejection and allowing it to shake your confidence, you detach from the emotional reaction and focus on your next steps. This might involve setting new goals, seeking constructive feedback, or improving your skills, all while maintaining a sense of inner calm. Detachment is also important in personal relationships. Rejection, whether from a friend or a romantic partner, can feel deeply personal. It's easy to become consumed by the desire to fix the relationship or to win back affection. But by maintaining emotional distance, you protect your sense of self-worth. You can still show kindness and be supportive without being overly invested in the other person's response. For example, if a friend distances themselves or a partner breaks up with you, rather than becoming desperate for their attention or approval, emotional detachment allows you to accept the situation for what it is. It frees you from the need to chase after validation and allows you to focus on your own growth and well-being. Emotional distance also helps in preserving mental health and inner peace. When we are overly attached to the reactions of others, we place our emotional well-being in their hands, leaving ourselves vulnerable to disappointment, frustration, or sadness. By practicing detachment, we take back control of our emotional state, ensuring that we are not buffeted by the unpredictable behavior of others. This detachment is not about ignoring or dismissing others' feelings, but about not letting their reactions define how we feel about ourselves. For instance, consider a situation where you've shared an idea or creative work and someone responds with criticism or rejection. Instead of allowing the rejection to trigger self-doubt or emotional turmoil, maintaining emotional distance enables you to receive feedback objectively. You can accept criticism without internalizing it as a reflection of your worth, knowing that others' opinions are just that, opinions, and not an absolute judgment of your abilities or value. You can choose to use the feedback constructively, refining your work and continuing to move forward with your own sense of purpose intact. One of the key benefits of emotional distance is that it fosters resilience. When we detach emotionally from rejection, we become less susceptible to the sting of failure or criticism. Instead of seeing rejection as a threat to our self-esteem, we view it as part of the process of growth. Detachment allows us to take setbacks in stride, learn from them, and keep moving forward with a calm and balanced mindset. For example, a writer might face repeated rejections from publishers or agents. While the rejections might initially sting, maintaining emotional distance allows the writer to continue writing without getting discouraged. They can view each rejection as an opportunity to refine their work and build resilience, rather than as a reflection of their ability or worth. The writer can stay focused on their long-term goal of becoming a published author, without being sidetracked by temporary setbacks. In conclusion, maintaining emotional distance is a key aspect of emotional maturity and mental well-being. It is about learning to show kindness and compassion without relying on the approval or reactions of others for validation. By practicing detachment, we safeguard our mental health, preserve our inner peace, and develop the resilience to navigate rejection and other challenges with greater clarity and strength. Emotional distance does not mean coldness. It means cultivating the ability to remain balanced, objective, and focused on our own growth, regardless of how others may respond. By mastering this skill, we empower ourselves to maintain our sense of self-worth and peace in the face of rejection and adversity. Number 13. Don't display your struggles. In times of rejection or personal setbacks, it's natural to feel the urge to vent your frustrations or display your struggles to others. However, Stoicism teaches us that how we handle adversity defines our strength. Rather than broadcasting your difficulties or seeking sympathy, maintaining composure in the face of challenges not only protects your dignity, but also strengthens your resilience over time. When you openly display your struggles, you risk losing control of the narrative. You may unintentionally give others the power to define you by your failures or hardships. Instead of focusing on how difficult things are, the Stoic approach encourages us to focus on how we respond to those challenges. By keeping your struggles private and maintaining a composed demeanor, you preserve your sense of dignity and self-respect, no matter how challenging the situation may be. For example, imagine that you've been rejected for a promotion at work and are struggling to process the disappointment. While it might feel cathartic to share your frustrations with colleagues or post about your struggles on social media, Stoic wisdom suggests that this could undermine your confidence. Instead of focusing on your disappointment, focus on what you can control, your reaction, and your next steps. By handling the situation with grace and discretion, you project strength and confidence, even in the face of rejection. This does not mean suppressing your emotions or pretending that everything is fine when it's not. It's about choosing how and when to express your struggles. You can lean on close friends, family, or mentors for support in private, but avoid using external platforms or social circles to seek validation or sympathy. Publicly displaying your difficulties can inadvertently make you feel more defeated or helpless, while maintaining your composure helps you process the situation more effectively and preserves your sense of self-worth. By keeping your struggles to yourself, you are also giving yourself the space to reflect and grow. Rejection can be a powerful catalyst for introspection and personal development, but if you're constantly seeking external validation, you may not have the mental and emotional space to fully process the experience and learn from it. Focusing on your own growth in private allows you to take ownership of your emotions and actions without the influence of others' opinions or judgments. For instance, if you experience a romantic rejection, you might feel tempted to reach out to mutual friends to vent or explain the situation. However, taking the high road by processing your feelings on your own, or in a trusted, private setting, ensures that you are not seeking external validation. It also allows you to learn from the situation, letting go of resentment or frustration in a healthier way. By not displaying your struggles, you demonstrate emotional maturity, showing that you are capable of moving forward with confidence rather than getting stuck in the past. Moreover, displaying your struggles can sometimes encourage a cycle of negativity. If you repeatedly highlight your hardships, you may unintentionally reinforce feelings of helplessness or bitterness. By choosing not to publicly dwell on your challenges, you break this cycle, reinforcing a mindset of resilience and self-sufficiency. Each time you face a setback and choose not to display your struggles, you strengthen your mental fortitude and demonstrate that your value is not defined by external circumstances or public perception. An example from the professional world might be if you've failed to secure a client or lost a business deal. Instead of airing your grievances about the situation or complaining to your colleagues, focus on how you can improve. Perhaps you reflect on the areas where you could have performed better or seek constructive feedback to grow. By keeping your struggles private and focusing on solutions, you demonstrate a proactive and resilient attitude that inspires respect and confidence from others. In the long run, maintaining composure and discretion in the face of rejection helps you to become more resilient. The challenges you face, rather than diminishing your strength, become opportunities to prove to yourself that you can navigate difficulties with grace. By not displaying your struggles publicly, you preserve your dignity and keep the focus on your capacity for growth and improvement, rather than on the setbacks themselves. In conclusion, not displaying your struggles is an important practice in preserving your dignity and emotional strength. It reflects your ability to maintain composure in difficult situations and reinforces the belief that you are in control of your own response to adversity. By choosing to process your challenges privately and without seeking sympathy or validation, you cultivate resilience, self-respect, and a sense of inner peace that allows you to grow stronger with every rejection. Conclusion: rejection is not a final verdict on your worth. It is simply an opportunity for growth, self-discovery, and transformation. Each time you face rejection, it's a chance to reflect, refine, and evolve into a better version of yourself. Rather than being defeated by the experience, see it as a powerful reminder that you are capable of overcoming challenges, learning from them, and becoming stronger in the process. By applying the timeless wisdom of Stoic philosophy, you can take control of your emotional responses, focus on what truly matters, and stay grounded in your own values. With each rejection, you not only reinforce your inner confidence and resilience, but also open doors to new opportunities that might have been previously unnoticed. It is through these challenges that we grow, not by avoiding rejection, but by facing it with strength and wisdom. Remember, your self-worth is not determined by the approval of others. True fulfillment comes from within, through self-acceptance, peace, and the continual pursuit of growth. By embracing rejection as part of your journey, you build a life of greater depth and authenticity, one that is unwavering and driven by your own inner compass. If you found value in this message, I invite you to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring content. Join our community, where we explore deeper truths, share empowering lessons, and help each other rise above challenges. Your journey toward greater self-discovery and resilience is just beginning, and together we can navigate the road ahead with confidence, peace, and unshakable strength. Subscribe now, and let's continue growing, stronger and wiser, each and every day.